Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Let's talk about the bowling pin setting operations and the rules and regulations. We have an article at Bowlversity on our site at bowlingball.com called Bowling Automatic Pin Setting Specifications. And, I want to just address a couple of the points that we made in that article. And first of all, we all take the pin setting, automatic pin setting for granted because it's in virtually every center you can visit these days, anywhere in the world. But, the USBC, the United States Bowling Congress, is the rules body and the rules and regulations for bowling, and there are certain guidelines that the pin setting systems have to follow. Things like they have to be constructed so they can be installed on regulation lanes, and that's checked carefully. They want to make sure that each device must perform entirely automatically. There's a push button device to recycle the machine with easy access to the bowlers. So in case there's a malfunction, you got to recycle the machine or and get the pins ready for a first cycle instead of second cycle after the 10th frame, for example. There's got to be emergencies come up once in a while where the pin setter has to be able to pick up a pin that's slid off spot and still standing. It's got to be able to reset it right in the same place that the machine picked it up and not move it back to perfectly on spot. So there's got to be some performance capabilities out of these pin setters. And USBC actually inspects these pin setting services and the lanes yearly to make sure that things like the pins are set on the spot properly. If they're not, then the lead mechanics and their teams of mechanics at each center have to adjust the pin cells so they set the pins properly. They must conform with all the provisions of the rules of bowling for pinfall. The pin setters must be able to operate, for example, under voltage fluctuations that the community has typically, and where the machines are installed for use. We don't think about that a lot, but those are things that are important when you're dealing with the high level of complicated mechanics of a pin setting machine. Now, the pit floor, for example, at the tail plank, there's a certain measurement that it can't be more than 4 3/4 inches below the deck surface. The minimum distance from the end of the lane to the point on the cushion should be 25 inches. So there's regulations in there how the machine should sit behind the lane so it operates properly and you get the right type of pin. The pins don't jump back on the pin deck. In fact, there is another regulation that the pit curtain or pin arresting device must not allow pins to come back out onto the pin deck after they go back into the pit. So that has to be adjusted properly as well as do the flat gutters and so on the sides of the lanes near the pin setters. And each device on the first ball cycle should place the bowling pins perfectly on the pin spots on the deck, and those are things that the inspectors look for. So there's many things that the USBC requires, rules and regulations of automatic pin setting devices. And remember, reliable pin setting is something we've all come to expect, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Lead bowling mechanics, in fact, everyone virtually, are all schooled on pin setting machines, so they know the ins and outs of it, and they can train their own mechanics that they have on their team to keep those pin setting systems reliable and servicing you and giving you the performance that we've all come to expect. So if you have any questions about it, when you go to your local bowling center, talk to the lead mechanic and ask him. I'm sure he'll be happy to share with you information about automatic pin setting machines. Anyway, hope some of this information satisfies your curiosity, and we want to wish you all the very best. Bye-bye.